All right, hi everyone. My name is Natalie Vlatko, and this is the SIG Docs biweekly community call for the Communities Project. Today's date is Tuesday, the 15th of April, 2025, and we are currently broadcasting to YouTube. Hi, YouTube, and hi everyone who's joined. We've got a few tech leads and co-chairs on the call today, and a somewhat shortish agenda, so we might get through a little quickly. What I want to do is remind everyone that given this is a Kubernetes meeting for the project, we do abide by the Kubernetes Code of Conduct. And what that means is that we want folks to respect one another in all aspects of how we collaborate and work. So that means here in this meeting today, but also in Slack on PRs, issues, and so on. Let's try and make sure that we're respecting each other and our possibly differing opinions on different technical and governance matters. Okay, we have a like I said, a shortish agenda today, but we may have a new person or two. So I wanted to invite anyone who's on the call that's new or maybe hasn't attended for quite a while who wanted to maybe unmute and say hello. Completely fine if not. If you also wanted to just say hello in the chat, we can add your names to the possible new contributors that we have joining. But if not, you can always come in to the Slack channel SIG-docs to also come and say hello and introduce yourselves to the community. So thanks. We'll keep going. Unless Jayesh, sorry, I saw you on mute. Did you want to say hi?
Yeah, hi, this is Jayesh here. The first time I'm started contributing to Kubernetes. I also wrote a book on Kubernetes on Google Cloud some time back, and being actively now involved on open source community. Nice to see you guys.
Amazing. Thank you so much for saying hi and for coming to the call. It's great that to have you here, and we're really looking forward to any possible contributions and aspects of how you'd like to get involved. So thank you so much. Anyone else want to say hi before we move on? All right, let's go into the this biweekly updates and reminders that we've got. We have a general program that we run through SIGDocs. It's called PR Wrangling, where we try our best each week for all of us who are approvers to have a shift of moving contributions through the PR pipeline. We did just have a big event called KubeCon. You may have heard of it. So our wrangling maybe hasn't been so great the last couple of weeks. However, we do want to remind approvers that they are on the hook for wrangling via shifts. So to check those shifts as they can. This week's PR wrangler is CDOC's co-chair, one of our co-chairs, Divya Mohan, and then next week's PR wrangler is Depesh Rawat, one of our approvers there, and Depesh will be shadowed by at iHeart Nathan, and then the following week's PR wrangler after that would be Nate Waddington, and he'll be shadowed by Sayak, who's on the call at the moment. So for shadows, sometimes it can be hard for wranglers to kind of get organized sometimes and get in touch. So feel free to reach out to the person you're shadowing to organize how that's going to happen. It's okay that you're proactive about that too. The other next thing that we want to look at is looking at issue wrangling, which is very similar to PR wrangling, where we get folks in the community to look at the different issues that are coming into our website repository and to try and make sure that we can triage and figure out what we should be working on as a community. This week's issue wrangler is Michael Yao, and we've got next week's issue wrangler as Drew Hagen. However, we also want different community members to look at their wrangling shifts. Issue wrangling isn't just restricted to approvers. You can just be a somewhat regular or big know-it-all in the community in terms of docs and some of your interests, and we'd be happy to have you on the wrangling schedule. I have a bit of a call out later down in the agenda to get some more wranglers on board. So thanks so much. Finally, for folks who do want to join these community calls and have them on their calendar and specifically add items to the agenda, please join the SIGDocs Google group. It's linked in the specific in our specific agenda there, and you'll get access to all of that as well. All right, we can move on to the regular agenda that we've got now. We always start with some release updates, and I'd like to call on, I believe, Ryan, who's here to give us the release docs update for 133.
Yeah, hey everyone, Ryan this side. So we are on track for 1.33. So we have raised the final release notes PR and it's in review right now. We have added 1.33 in release schedule as well. The PR is merged. A couple more updates. I'll be raising the multiple PRs to update the site configs by tomorrow, hopefully. And I'll raise another PR just a day prior to the release to add myself as a website maintainer to perform the activities. I will also need some assistance from SIG chairs on the day of the release with some helps. Of, I mean, right now, I know we need help in Netlify. I will go through, I mean, the handbook and then see where all we need help from the chairs.
Sure.
So,
Ray, I saw that you unmuted.
Yeah, I'm available for Wednesday. Right now, the release day is scheduled for April 23. I saw on the schedule, so I am available for top out on release day. I'm also available the days leading up to release day as well. There are some tasks and there are some PRs that needs to be merged. Also, a reminder that to freeze the K website repository 24 hours before release day and to make a note of that, or to broadcast the K website repos frozen through the Slack channels.
Yeah.
Great. So Ryan, you can definitely rely on Ray. That's great. Thanks so much, Ray. I think also possibly for great time zone help, you may be able to call on Divya, but we can double check with her as well to make sure that she's around and available for you too. But we want to make sure that, yeah, you've got one of us SIGDocs chairs or tech leads to help out with the release task on release day. That's definitely a usual thing that we're on the hook for. So thank you for the reminder.
Awesome.
Awesome, thank you. We'll myself and Ray can ping Divya and double check if she's also possibly free, just because Ray, I know it's probably a bigger time difference on your end, so having you both might be helpful as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Great. Anything else, Ryan, that we need to cover? No, I don't think so. Any questions for release docs? All right, thank you so much. I've got now, we usually get an update from release comms, although I'm not sure that we have anyone from comms on the line. We can probably get that update later on, but we don't have anything in the agenda as an update from release comms.
Hi, Natalie. Sorry, I'm not prepared to, I wasn't planning to give this status, but I am a comms shadow for this release. So I can, I can share that current status is green. As of yesterday, we had 15 feature blog PRs ready for review and some under active review from SIGDocs. We're also trying to help as well with some, but we are mostly focused on finishing the release announcement blog, which is also ready for review, but we're finishing up and making sure that we have every highlight brought up by the SIGs covered. I think we do, as of yesterday, end of day, we have everything covered. So that's also a PR that is ready for review. So yeah, I can write a little bit more in the document now.
Okay, no worries. And sorry, Augustina, I didn't realize that you were, I think you had joined late and I wasn't looking at
No, that's okay. Yeah, I joined late. Sorry, I had a meeting conflict and I wasn't planning to do the status, but since I am here, I thought I could share a little bit.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you so much. And yeah, feel free to jump into the agenda whenever you have time to update that. That would be really great. Does anyone have any questions for release comms? All right, perfect. I have been seeing, yes, a lot of the different feature blogs and the release blog getting a lot of kind of traction and work and reviews going on, which is great. I'm planning to jump in and do another check this evening and tomorrow, but also some more checks happening throughout the weekend. So you can always call on the docs team to help out with this too.
Okay, thank you.
Perfect. Anything else on the release that we need to cover before we move on? Great. I'm about to hand over the mic for a little while now to Sayak, I believe. We've got some issues and PRs we'd like to discuss. So Sayak, over to you.
Right. The third one has already been handled by Ray and Dipesh, I believe. Thanks a lot for that. But the other four, the first two PRs are like they were related to some short codes which were also used in translated pages. So all those translated pages removals have been done, and the short code has been removed completely. So the first two PRs will need to be approved just to get the short codes removed. So they have been LGTM'd, just the approval is needed. As for the last two PRs, they are also a bit of like a cleanup. So like the overall idea here is that we are slowly trying to upgrade Doxy, and the upgrade that we are waiting for right now is from 0.6 to 0.7. And the 0.7 upgrade introduces a lot of breaking changes in Doxy, especially the version of Bootstrap it uses. And the difference is so much like we would need to do substantial work, substantial rework, should say, to upgrade. So instead of doing that substantial rework, we are just trying to get the site as close to vanilla as possible first, so that the upgrade itself won't be that much of a work. So these 5 PRs are actually all related to that. The last 2 PRs are more so. Yeah, so there are other PRs in progress and under review, but all these 5 were already LGTM'd and just needed approval.
Yep. Thanks so much, Sayak. The first two, yes, I saw Sioko actually reached out to me to approve those like earlier today, and I need to still go in and do that. So I can help on those first two just after this call, no problem. And then the last two we'll probably need to kind of take a bit of a look at. I know the third one, I was just having a look here. There's an LG team added, but we may not need there's a couple of things that are that Tim had called out that are not completely correct but close enough, and I just want to let you know that close enough is okay. Like we don't need to get everything perfect the first go. So those kinds of like bits of feedback and nits, there's still an LGTM there, so we can kind of take that as we can continue to review. Just noting your last comment of you can do another pass, but we may be able to review that again before you have to.
Sure, yeah. I plan to create a new PR just to track. I'm sorry, create a new issue just to track that change so that I don't forget it.
Amazing. Okay, yeah, that's really, really great. Awesome. Thanks for bringing that up. Yeah, I can definitely help on the first two after this call very quickly because I have a few things on my list and they're definitely there. Awesome. Does anyone have any questions or comments, asks from Sayak? No? Okay. Thank you so much for bringing that update. All the Doxy work that you're doing, Sayak, we are very, very grateful. This is really awesome. What's very interesting is also that you're kind of continuing on and you've got a lot of context and work that you're being able to kind of push out with the rest of the upgrades that you're doing. Yeah, there's a lot of appreciation for what you're doing. So thank you so much.
It has been enjoyable. It has been enjoyable for myself too. So yeah.
Great. That's great to hear. Awesome. Okay. Does anyone have any other issues or PRs that they'd like to bring up today before we move over to regular discussion?
Yeah, I have one PR. I'm not sure if this is the right forum to discuss. I see Dipesh is helping with some comment on that. Do I have to add it here, or how do you guys pick PR? Like which
Yeah,
PR
feel
to
free to
discuss?
link it here in the chat and we can add it to the agenda. That's no problem. But if you want to link it
Perfect.
here in the chat and we can have a look at it.
Yeah, I'll paste it here.
Oh yeah, okay, great. Let's have a look here. And did you want to give us a brief rundown of this PR?
Yeah, it is for the I'm starting with something simple. So I'm converting some of the documentation into Hindi. So that was raised as one of the issues in it. And I
Great.
converted 2 documentation pages to Hindi. There were some issues with the CI that Dipesh asked me to fix it, which I did fix it. And
Perfect. Yeah, so while this is always great to bring up PRs here, the usual folks in the Hindi localization, although we do have Depeshi, which is great, and sometimes Divya joins too. There is also a localization meeting that you can join that might be at a friendlier time zone for folks as well. But I would also recommend if you're not already in the Hindi localization channel, so that you can speak directly with a few folks there helping out. That might be a good place to be too.
okay.
Only because there's only a few folks, there's only a very small number of folks on this call who can likely help with this specific PR right now.
Got it.
But this is great. One thing I do want to note, you've got here, you probably want to just generally, once you're done, to kind of keep things a bit kind of neater on some PRs, I recommend at the end when you're kind of done to squash your PRs if you can, so that when we're merging, it's not going to be like a bunch of commits. If possible, that's not a rule. It's more like a general best practice that we recommend. But other than that, this is great. Thank you so much, and thanks to Dipesh also, who's on the call for helping out. I believe he's just mentioned that he's going to get to that PR later today. So thank you so
Okay.
much, and thanks Jayesh for mentioning it.
Sure. Thank
We
you.
love localization PRs, so the more the merrier. And yeah, and I can I can grab the information of the channels that you should join just in a second, and I'll add them to the chat for you.
Yeah, I'm in there.
Oh, perfect. Okay, great.
Yeah.
Great. Awesome. Any other PRs to discuss or issues? Okay, let's move over to the general discussion and question points. And the one that's in there on the agenda is from me. I mentioned before that we do some issue wrangling, and I looked at the issue wrangling schedule that I first created at the start of the year, and we are getting close to the end of the people that we have scheduled right now. Before I repeat the long list that's already on there, I wanted to already make a call out for folks who are not necessarily new contributors, but have been around for a little while and are interested in doing some issue wrangling. I wanted to chat about basically how that works, which is what you know from the community and things that we're working on. If you think that something is worth triaging and accepting as an issue that possible contributors can jump on and solve via contributions and PRs, we would love your help. You can likely see that in the actual, in our in the Kubernetes website, you can see that there's 539 issues. Not all of them are triaged, and not all of them are being actively worked on. And so we're always up for getting some help in not only triaging, but labeling things correctly so that new and interested contributors can navigate through and find where they'd like to possibly work on things. It's also the place where the general community comes to kind of report possible errors and bugs or things that they would really want to see on the website. And with the docs, and this is a way for us to be able to get that information and understand what we should be prioritizing or not as well. So just a general call out there, a quick note that you'll likely see for folks who are new. If you see in an issue where you can see on the screen here, there might be a country code in front of it, this one being JA. This is an issue that's come in specifically for the Japanese localization. So what I would suggest for folks who are interested in wrangling, you can wrangle in the languages that you know. You do not need to wrangle issues for documentation that is in a different language. That's no problem at all. Okay, that was my little spiel. Does anyone have any other discussion areas that they'd like to bring up as we're at the end of the agenda for today?
If I'm interested in doing issue wrangling, who should I approach?
Me, definitely me. Basically what we will do, and I can just quickly show you on the screen now, these issue wrangler shifts that you can see here. Basically we just do it again by week. And we are up to May 11. Of course, you don't have to sign up for that week if you have a schedule that you need to accommodate. But basically, signing up for a week to kind of do issue wrangling at your own pace. And you can sign up for many different times. And then we basically will repeat those of us who are general contributors on the list again too. So reach out to me if you'd like to be added.
Sure, will do.
Perfect. And I mean that by reaching out to me on Slack. So whoever is listening after the fact, Natalie Latko, you can find me on Slack as well. Okay, great. Thanks, everyone. I think we are at the end of our agenda for today. Thanks for joining. Thank you to our Docs and Comms reps for your updates and for everyone helping out. Wish you a really nice day. And yeah, I hope you have a great time continuing with the release for those of you who are. See you later.
Thank you, baby.